Katrina's Creations. This is episode 85, and I have a co-star with me today. This is Cricket. She's our little, as my daughter calls her, the Shawl, because she's a little on the portly side like her mommy. She's been getting a few too many goodies, but she's our fur baby. She always is usually up here with me, but usually curled up on the floor or on the bed. So, anyway, thought I'd show you our little co-star. Well, the co-star went to go sit back on the bed. So anyway, I thought we would get started. I have a finished object today. And if you guys have been watching me, you know what it is. I finished the virus shawl. Here it is. Make sure I'm showing it to you right side out. I have a harder time with crochet seeing right side out than I do with knitting. I think this is right. So let me roll back here so you can see it. I am going to insert a picture right here. But here you can see where the color change is, right on the edge. So there is the entire shawl, and it's good sized. I mean, it drapes around my shoulders and hangs. It's just like the perfect size. So that will be perfect for it. And let me show you how up close how these colors ended up going together. You can see up on the top here, this section, these kind of grayish smoky color blues. And then the blue that I put in has those same smoky colors, and then it kind of goes to a deeper blue at the end. So because I only had about 197 yards of this darker blue, I didn't want it at the top because, as you can see, it is a bit darker, well, quite a bit darker than the rest of the shawl. And since the shawl begins at the top center, I was afraid I would have this dark section that would take the whole top here, and it would look too weighted, where I thought it looked like a good finishing touch. So all the ends are woven in. There was only a couple of ends to weave in, but they're all woven in. I haven't blocked it, and to be honest, I really don't know that I'm going to need to because it's pretty much the size I want. So I am very happy with this. And I will definitely be making another virus shawl. Because I had a lot of fun making this. So that one's finished, and I will show you in a little bit my next crochet project that I'm going to work on. Of the two colors of yarn, all I had left of the lighter was this little teeny bit here. And of the blue, I had this left. So neither of these were enough to go all the way across the pattern again, and I didn't want it to end in the middle of a row. So that's why I have a little bit of this left, and I have no clue if I'm going to save it or if I'm going to knit it up into like a dishcloth, because this is 100% cotton, so it will work as a dishcloth with no problem. So maybe between the two of them, I don't know that that's going to, I don't know. It's probably not going to be enough for dishcloth. Maybe a small dish rag. We'll see. Anyway, because I hate to see yarn go to waste, especially when it was a little pricey. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I've got left. So I'm excited about that. And the weather's been chilly enough in the mornings that I actually could maybe get away with wearing it. So it might make an appearance at church on Sunday. So if the weather stays the way it is right now, it's been gorgeous outside. Been in the 70s, low 80s, my kind of weather. It's been beautiful. Sunny. We had tons of rain before that. So anyway, I am wearing my cotton. This is done with 100% cotton. It's Danita Online 365. I don't remember the colorway, but it's basically different shades of denim. And this is the Katrina's kerchief cowl. So it looks like one of those, like a shawl that's wrapped around your neck, but it's actually just hooked in the back with small seams. So you don't have all the bulkiness behind your neck. And this is a pattern that's available for $2 on my Ravelry page. And so anyway, you can check it out, but it is done with cotton. And I've also discovered it makes a wonderful bib because I spill on myself all the time. It's like every outfit I have, I've spilled right down the front of me. It's covering that. So yes, apparently Katrina needs a bib. So I should call it my Katrina's bib cowl. But anyway, yes. So that's what I'm wearing today. Let's get on to my works in progress. I have my cotton sweater that I've been working on for a while. I did separate for the armholes last week because this is just going to be a dropped shoulder. It's not going to have sleeves. Unless I have a huge amount of yarn left over, it's not going to have sleeves. So I separated last week. That you can see right here is where I stopped. This is the one side. This is going to be the front here. And you can see I'm just finishing the edge here by putting 5 garter stitch right along this edge. Let me move this out of the way so you can see it. There you can see it. So it gives a finished edge because I don't like raglan sleeves, which raglan just means they kind of roll on you. And I have enough rolls of my own. I don't need any created rolls. I have natural rolls. So that is going to be the edge. This is going to be where the armhole is. And then this side, when I knit it up, will be the other armhole. So I'm knitting straight across. And yeah, here's the other side. So this is the front. And then I have, when I get into the neckline portion, I have some black beads that I'm going to incorporate into the neckline. I'm not quite sure how. I'm not even sure what kind of neckline I'm going to put on this. I'm inventing as I go. But it'll probably be like a scooped neckline is what I'm looking at doing. And then the beads will be within the edging, I think. I think that's what I'm going to do. Or it might go straight across. I'm not sure. Haven't really decided. But I have a lot of the beads, so who knows, I might throw some at the end, at the hem as well. I don't know. We'll see. But that's what my plans are. So I didn't show you how far I got this week. Where's my progress keeper? Here's my progress keeper. I've gotten quite a ways because you can see there's my little cheeseburger where I was. So I've knitted up to here. And at this point, it's a little over 100 stitches across. I think it's about 128 to 140, somewhere like that, to go partway across to this point. So that is that project. This is probably going to be a short episode this week because I don't have as much going on. On my Barton cardigan, which is the sweater I've been working on, seems like forever because it is cabled all the way around. It looks basically like this, but this is the sleeve version. Now, I'm definitely modifying this pattern because the original pattern has 3/4 length sleeves. I've got a ton of this yarn left. I've got plenty to make long sleeves, and it's a wool blend is what I'm knitting it with. I want long sleeves. If I'm wearing a wool sweater, I want it to be long sleeved. Otherwise, my sleeves of my shirts are going to stick out and it's going to look funny. So what I did, I put a little, you can see right here. See this little stitch marker right here. The actual pattern runs from here to here. This is the pattern that's in the book. I added to it because they call for, I think it's 13 inches to go from the shoulder to your mid-arm. I want it to go all the way down to my wrist, so I added about 3 inches, but I didn't want this to be this wide, because like I said, this is meant to be at your upper arm. I don't want this width down here. I don't like sleeves that like bell sleeves that hang off of your arms a whole lot. So what I did is I modified the pattern. I stayed in pattern for this lacy section right here, but where the cables are, I narrowed them down. So they start out, you can see that the cables are not there. Below here, there's no cables. It's just single stockinette stitch, and then I just kept increasing until I got to about 3 inches. Now, when I finish this sweater, if I still don't feel it's long enough for my sleeves, because if I put this on my arm here, you can see this is still a little gapped right here. This is still a little more than, I haven't blocked it yet, so by the time I block it, it's going to pull out about like this, which is okay, but I really would prefer little snugger sleeves just because I tend to catch them on everything. What I might do is if I find that based on their pattern, it starts here mid-arm, based on that, I've got about 1 inch to 1.5 inches more that I need on this end of the sleeve. Then I'll just put a rib stitch on this section right here. I'll just pick up the stitches and I'll do a rib stitch there to make up the difference, and it will also pull it in so that the sleeve will fit a little more snug around my wrist, because I do have small wrists, big body, small little wrists. Yeah, so that's the plan at this point. So I have knit all of this week. So I've got probably about 7 inches. And this little marker that is hanging off here is just marking where my rounds are. Because I'm knitting circular, this just tells me where my next row starts. So I know when I get to this point, I move to the next row. So this moves up as I go. So that little stitch marker is for that. And yes, that is my sleeve. Those are the 2 projects. After I finished the virus shawl, I've been working just on those 2 projects this week. I didn't do anything on my cozy memory blanket because I really want to try to get a lot of the work done on these sweaters. So, because there's so many other projects that I want to get started on. Yeah. Anyway, let me show you my acquisitions. I have, if you didn't see it already, I do have a Knit Crate video that went up earlier this week. I'll put a little eye right up there. You can click on that. It will show you it. So if you don't want to be surprised, skip ahead a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to see what I got for the Knit Crate. So let me show you. My first one, which was out of the membership box, is this blue yarn. It is Vitalana. Now, the membership box is $24.99 a month, and that includes your shipping. It gives you 2 skeins of yarn, and it gives you 2 patterns. This month's pattern, the theme of it was called Ice Scream, and so it was several different colors of yarn. It was this blue, it was this kind of teal, kind of a Tiffany box teal, and actually kind of matched the Knit Crate box. And then it came in a red, and it came in a yellow. I got the blue. I would have been happy with any of the colors except the yellow. I wasn't crazy about the yellow. I didn't get the yellow, but for those of you who did, because I know one person already wrote me and said they got the yellow, and what could they do with it? And I mean, the yellow, there's the yellow. It's an eye-popping lemon yellow. Which, if you like yellow, which I like yellow, but I like more pastels or golds. I'm not into bright lemon yellow. It doesn't do well with my complexion. But some people it would look great on. But anyway, my suggestion, if you did get the yellow and you don't like it, you can go to Knit Crate to their Destashio. It's this little section where you can actually sell some of your yarn if it's something you don't like. I'm not sure if you can return it or not. But the other thought would be if you took this bright yellow and if you were making like a shawl or something and you striped it, or you used other colors that had maybe a speckle in it or a variegated that had one of these, that had this color in it, but that it wasn't a predominant color, where you could kind of mix and match it in a shawl. Or you could knit this 2-stranded. In other words, pick maybe a pastel or a mohair or something like that, a pastel type of yellow to put with this and knit the 2 strands at the same time together, and that might tone the yellow down a little bit. And some people just like the bright yellow. So, I mean, on this girl, it looks great. On me, not so much. I'd look like a giant lemon. But I'm not knitting this pattern. This is the crochet pattern that was sent. It is by Kalura Hudson, and it's called Limoncello or Limoncello. Not sure which way you pronounce it. So that's the crochet pattern. I'm making the knit pattern. It is called Minty Fresh. It's by Tega Hilliard. I'm going to show you the big version of it because I've already printed it out. That's the one I'm doing. Now this is the mint color that they came out with. But I like the fringe. And just looking at the pattern, it's just, I think it'll be really nice because this is cashmere. It's got cashmere in it. It's really soft. I have never knitted with cashmere before. It is a fingering weight. There's 437 yards per skein. And it is 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 10% cashmere. So you could do socks out of this if you really wanted to, but no, cashmere's going up against my face. So this is going to turn into that shawl. I really like this. So that's going to be one of my projects. So that was the first thing that came in my knit crate. And then the box that Knit Crate has sent me for free for the last 3 months is their sock yarn. Now this is the artisan sock yarn box. Oh, they have 2 different sock yarn boxes. This is done by a hand dyer. So this is the more expensive of the sock yarns. The one sock yarn box, I think, is $18.99. They give you a sock pattern, and they give you yarn that is still hand-dyed, but it's hand-dyed on the yarn base itself is a yarn base that is owned by Knit Crate. Whereas the artisan sock crates and the artisan knit crate, there's another artisan knit crate box. They're more expensive because they are hand-dyed completely by an independent dyer using that independent dyer's base for the yarn. And when I say base, it means what the fiber content is. So this is a base that it's called Vitalana, but it's by Knit Crate. In other words, the base of this, which is the merino nylon cashmere, they also call it MCN for short. This is a base that is actually, the yarn itself is owned by Knit Crate. It's put out by Knit Crate, but it's dyed by an independent dyer. So, but the artisan is completely done by an independent dyer. And it is by Less Traveled Yarn, and the color is Lolita. And there is the, does it want to focus? It's trying. Anyway, there it is. And this is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. There is 450 yards in this. It is very soft. It's got pinks, and then it kind of goes into some deeper roses, and then it has a deep rose almost. It looks red here, I guess. It's a rosy red, though. It's not like fire engine red. It's like a rosy red here. This might make an appearance in a giveaway in the future. I'll just say it that way, because we have a giveaway for today as well. But this was my acquisitions for this week. I was hoping, I have a Knit Picks order that I placed. Knit Picks, and I will talk about it a little bit more when I tell you all the different coupons and sales that are going on. But Knit Picks is running this one sale right now for their palette yarn, and I really like their palette yarn. It's 100% wool, and it's normally $3.79 a skein for fingering weight. And it's not a rough wool, it's a nice soft wool, and I like it, and that's what I did my Keeping You in Stitches shawl in. So because they were running 20% off, it was only $3.03 a skein. So I have a new design pattern in mind for a shawl that I want to work on, and I always usually knit the design twice before I release it or send it out to people to try to knit it for me. So I decided that that I was going to order from the Knit Picks palette and have it on hand. And I got it in different shades of brown because I thought that was fairly neutral, that I could wear it with a lot of stuff. So I was hoping to show it to you, but it's due in any day, so I should have it for next Saturday. I should be able to show you that Knit Picks order that came in because I have 7 skeins of yarn coming. Let me show you what I've got in mind. Now this is not new. I bought this last summer on vacation. When we were up in New England, I wanted to try some Sweet Georgia yarn. So this is Sweet Georgia Party of 5. This is their waterfall colorway, and it's in the Tough Love sock. This one is called Sapphire. This is Bluebird. This is Breeze. This is Chill. And this is Frostbite. So it's in different shades of blue. And it's very tonal. It's not showing up maybe. Well, there you can see it. I'm going to put these slowly in front so you can see. So it is a gradient set. There you go. It's still in the plastic, and I don't want to take it out because I don't want these to get messed up or anything before I get started. Each of these skeins has 105 yards in them, or 96 meters. So I'm combining this with this I got from, I believe it's Craftsy, and this is their Cloudborne fibers, and this is a navy blue. Got this. I have 3 skeins of this, but it's to go with this in an upcoming pattern. So I bought from Knit Picks, I bought 5 different gradient or browns that I'm going to use as gradients, and then I bought a deeper brown for the main color. So I haven't started on it yet. I'm still working on it. I know what I want it to look like. It's a matter of figuring it out and writing up the pattern and testing it and all that kind of stuff. So my other thing I was going to fill you in on is what am I going to make next with my crochet? Last week I had mentioned a pattern that I wanted to do, and then I looked at it because I am new to crochet, so any pattern I do I want to make sure that I have video tutorials to be able to see it so I can watch what they're doing. But when I looked at it, the size yarn it called for was a bulky, and I don't have bulky yarn, so I'm not going to be doing that pattern. And it was called the Mobius, I think it was called the Mobius Cowl Wrap or Mobius Shawl Wrap by Nastasia. And it's a pretty pattern. It's still in my library, so if I ever get bulky yarn I could make it, but at this point I don't have any bulky yarn on hand. So instead I am doing a pattern. It's called the Valley Cowl by Doris Chan, and it is a Mobius, which means it basically wraps around your shoulder and it has a twist. So you twist the yarn, or you twist you twist your chain intentionally so that it has a twist in the front. And I'm doing this with some Knit Crate yarn that I got a few months ago, and this is called Audine Wools. And this is, again, Knit Crate base, but it's dyed, hand-dyed by an independent dyer, and the color is called Prickly Pear, and it is 100% superwash merino, and it's 236 yards, and I have 2 skeins of it, which is what the pattern calls for. It calls for about 430 yards. So between these two, I will have over 500. Am I right? Yes, I will have over 500 yards. So I should have enough with a little to spare. And you crochet it with a 5.5 millimeter needle. And it called for a DK weight, and this is DK weight yarn, which means DK weight means it's not quite as heavy as a worsted, but it's not as lightweight as a fingering. It's kind of like a sport weight. DK kind of reminds me of what you would knit baby or crochet baby blankets with. It's about that thick. So there it is in the Prickly Pear. So I'm excited about that. And then, oops, I just scared the dog. I sat the yarn down and forgot she was over there and tossed the yarn right on top of the puppy. I have this other yarn. This is not going to be crochet. This could be my next knitting pattern, I think. I've had this for several years and wanted to make it. A friend of mine in my knitting group, hi Bonnie, she made this and I loved it. It was gorgeous. I don't have it printed in color because my color was out on my printer when I printed this several years ago. It's a free pattern by Hillary Designs, a criminal knits pattern. It's called Pirate's Cove. It is a shawl. You can't see all the detail real well because it's a small picture, and like I said, it's in black and white. But it is a 3-color shawl, and it is done with Ultra Pima yarn, which is made by Cascade. And when I was on vacation, actually 2 years ago, that's how long ago I've had this yarn, I bought some. And I actually bought this from Halcyon Yarns, which is a very well-known yarn store up in Bath, Maine. They even have a website you can order from them and everything. So check out Halcyon Yarns if you want to. It's pretty cool. It was, other than my local yarn shop, I'd say it's the biggest yarn shop I've ever been in. My local yarn shop is like second in size. I'm very blessed. My local yarn shop is a big yarn shop. And she has just about anything you can think of. So, but Halcyon Yarns is in like a warehouse sort of thing. And it's a little overwhelming, but they have one section that's like nothing but fleece that you can spin and rovings. And then they have another room that's nothing but lace weight, and they have another section that's nothing but fingering weight. And then, yeah, it was a little overwhelming. It was like yarn overload. But anyway, this is the Cascade Ultra Pima. Pima is a cotton, but it's Pima cotton is like one of the higher grades of cotton. I don't know that it's the highest grade of cotton for softness, but it's pretty close because it's very soft. Anyway, I have it in this color, which is, does it give a color? No, it just gives you a number. They should name things. When they're pretty colored, they should give them a name. Anyway, it's made in Peru, and the color is 3791. That's exciting. Then I got it in this gray. And then I got in this blue. So these three are going to go together. And they match perfectly because this has the same gray in it and it has the same blues. So that's the 3 colors that are going to be together in it. And this is a fairly quick knit shawl. Trying to think what the weight is on this yarn. It says it's hand painted. Now you'd think if somebody spent all the time to hand paint yarn, they'd give it a pretty name. There's only 220 yards in each of the skeins. So, and looking at it, I'd say it's like a sport weight, sport to a DK weight. But I'm going to make that, and I'm going to make the Pirate's Cove out of it. I've had this yarn for 2 years. I've been meaning to make it. And right now I'm into knitting cotton because it's summertime, and that would be a fun thing to do. So when I finish one of the sweaters, this is going to be my next project. Unless I get into it sooner, which could happen. Yes, I'm like attention deficit when it comes to yarn. I start a project and then it's like squirrel. I see other yarns I want to go and things I want to make, and yeah, easily distracted. Now we have a giveaway to announce. One of the affiliates that one of the companies that I've become affiliated with is called Annie's Craft Store. Now, you can check the links down below to check her store out. She has a lot of classes on it that you can sign up to take, video classes. She sells yarn, she sells magazines, and she sells digital copies of magazines. So she sent me a free digital copy of the Summer 2018 Crochet magazine. It's an $8.99 value. And she offered a free copy to one of you. So, thank you very much, Annie. Actually, it was Amy that I talked to. Amy from Annie's Craft Store. So in order to enter this, it's only going to run 1 week because I want to get back to her as soon as I can. So it's going to run 1 week. So today is the 16th, and it's going to run until the 23rd. I'm going to, well, it'll run till the 22nd. I will announce the winner on the 23rd. And the winner will get a free digital download of that magazine. It is an 88-page magazine, and there are tons of crochet patterns in there. I mean, I looked through my copy to see what was on there. There is an introduction to beading. There is a Turkish crochet tutorial in there. There is a crochet bag. There's several like swim cover-ups. There's a couple of tees. There's a shawl. There's an afghan. There's a sweater and a cardigan and a poncho. There's tons of stuff in there, and they're really, really pretty patterns. There's 2 that I'm definitely looking at for future reference as I get more experienced. One was called the Golden Mesh Cardigan, and one was called the Jade Island Shawl. So both of those were pretty, and so I'm looking at trying those in the future as I get a little bit more experienced. So the way you're going to enter this is you must be a subscriber. Give me a thumbs up, and in the comments down below, tell me what you would like me to do in the podcast. If there's suggestions you would have or things you want me to talk about, or tutorials or whatever, just put suggestions down in the comments box down below. When the winner is announced, you will have to send me through my email just your email address and your name to let the company know, and they will send you a download. I think you might have to be a member of Annie's shop. But to be a member of Annie's shop, there's no charge. It's free. You just put your email address in and sign up. And you can put things in your library, which is where your free digital copy will show up, is in your library through Annie, through Annie's craft shop. So go over and check it out. Like I said, the link is down below. She runs sales, and it reminds me almost like Ravelry because it does have a library where you can put your downloads in and you can watch the videos and things through them. There's all different types of classes and stuff. So it kind of reminds me of Craftsy, or yeah, more like a Craftsy, kind of like a small version of Craftsy. So anyway, check it out. But that giveaway will be running for 1 week, starting today until the 22nd, and I will make the winner's announcement next week. So that's our giveaway. Now we have show and tell, and I only have one thing for show and tell today. Yoka has been spinning, and she and I were talking because I said, what kind of wheel do you have? She has a Louette. I have an Ashford traditional. So she had shown some of the spinning last week. Well, she finished it, and she actually did a 3-ply, which she had never done before. I've never done a 3-ply. I've done a 2-ply. So hers turned out really, really well. Sometimes when you ply together yarns, or even when you're spinning, if you get it spinning too fast, it can like twist up on itself, so it kind of over twists and gets a kink. Hers doesn't look like that at all. It's very, very evenly spun. So she did a great job. So she's got pictures of it hanging as she's, letting it, you let it relax after you've spun. You just kind of let it sit for a little bit. And you can also put it in water after you've spun it, and it kind of helps set the twist so it doesn't untwist on you as easy. So she's got some of it hanging, and it kind of did a barber pole, like a marled effect, and it's all in really pretty pastel colors. So check it out. I'm going to put the in picture right here. Now we're at the end, almost the end. I'm going to tell you your deals of the week that are going on this week. Craftsy has offered an Craftsy Unlimited 7-day, I think it's 7-day, maybe it's 14-day. I'll check that out, but it's a free trial. Now, Craftsy Unlimited is craft classes. all kinds of craft classes that are on video that you can watch in their video library. There is knitting, there's crochet, there's painting, there's cooking, there's baking, you name it, any kind of craft related thing, you know, like embroidery, needlepoint, cross stitch, anything like that. There's even sewing. So anyway, they are offering a free trial of Craftsy Unlimited, which again is the videos. And just if you aren't interested after that trial period, make sure you cancel it so you don't get billed. That's the only warning I would say with that. Unless you're interested, if you do get into it, there's a monthly fee for it. And there's, or you can pay it per year. I think it's something like, I'll double check on the prices, but I'm pretty sure it's around $14 or $15 for monthly access to it. And I think for a year, it's like $120, $125, something like that. And it gives you access to all of their classes, all of their online classes. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, check that out. That's down in the links below. Knit Picks is, again, having their palette yarn, which I talked about earlier in the podcast. They're also offering up to 50% off of like 1,200 different yarns that they've got. So the link down, again, all of these links are down below. Just hit the show more in the description box and they'll all just keep scrolling down. You'll see them. If you click it, it'll take you right to that website. Lion Brand Yarn, which is Orchard Yarns. You'll see Orchard Yarns. It's actually Lion Brand. They are now carrying ombre life gradients, which is like a carrot cake, you know, like your or your mandala. It's that type of yarn. It's a gradient, and they are selling that, and it starts at $5.99. They also are offering 25% off any of their 24/7 cotton. So if you're looking to do something in a cotton for this summer, they've got some on sale. So, and then I already talked about Annie's and their giveaway, and go over and check out their shop because she also has a clearance section and a sale section over there. So that is the deals of the week. If you're interested in Knit Crate, the links are down below. You can get 20% off your very first box, but you have to put the coupon code KCreations20. Make sure you put that in there to get that 20% off of your first box if you're interested. So, and you can cancel with them at any time. It's not a problem. I have canceled one box and ordered another one before, so I have had experience with canceling with them, and they're great. And if you have questions, they get back to you pretty quick too. So, that is it for this week. Again, don't forget to enter the giveaway for Annie's magazine, for the crochet magazine. It's the summer 2018 crochet magazine. And I guess that is it. And I will see you again next week. Thanks again for stopping in. If you're a new viewer, thank you for checking me out, and click the little red subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye.